I coached a driver going from slightly above average lap times to almost pro. And I'm going to share with you the tools I've gave him so that you can improve no matter your current level.
I never thought I'd get past 2.5k. I thought that was it. And you showed me in about 40 minutes, whatever it was, like it's possible. It's right there. It's up to you if you want to get it or not.
So let's get it. We're going to dig deep into all the subtle details that make a great lap, adding some spice to his current driving, which allowed Jack to bring his lap times into the best 5% of iRacers. But first, let's take a look at where we started. We're here today with Jack for a coaching session. Some of you already might know him from his YouTube channel, and if you don't, make sure to check him out. He has put some nice content out there. Why did you consider coaching in the first place?
Thanks very much for the lovely intro, first off. Obviously, your viewers know who you are, so you don't need no introduction, and a lot of my viewers already know who you are too. So, coaching, I've been sim racing now for about, well, I started off very casual, PlayStation and stuff, on iRacing coming up to about 3 years, and slowly but surely getting quicker, understanding trail braking and rotation and different things and minimum speed, and as much as I can do with my hardware to try and suit myself.
Yeah.
But now I've hit this I've been pushing it up, but now I feel like I'm stuck, for me, at the skill rating of 2.5k. And the way it feels for me is I can confidently and modestly say I'm a little bit above average. I know that, but I'm nothing special. But I can't break into, to be in the top 10% in iRacing or the top 5%, which is very easy to do. There's a lot of space there, but it's just to find that extra little bit. It only gets you so far.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a bit stuck.
Yeah, for sure. The good thing is that you tried things, because you have some experience by trying things. Some things will work, some things won't. So that's a good starting point. So let's start with seeing you on the track, seeing you what you can do, and then we can move on from there.
Right on, sounds good, man.
After we both did around 10 laps, we were left with a 1.5 second gap difference. So the first step was comparing our laps from the cockpit view and later going into all the small details of telemetry. Before starting, every concept you'll see here in this video has been covered in depth in my sim racing video course. It's currently on sale and it will help you shave seconds per lap. You can check it out at gitgoodracing.com/simracingcourse. So the main improvement points for us would be, firstly, we're braking a bit too much. And here's an example.
Going in the corner itself, we peak around 22% on the brake. 19. And then you pick back the throttle. I'm braking 8% less than you into this corner. And of course, you're going a bit earlier on throttle than what I'm doing. You're going a bit earlier. But because this is such a short straight, up until the next corner, you're not gaining enough. So you're a bit earlier on throttle, you will gain on the exit, but the exit is so short that you can't properly take advantage of it. So for corners this, you see, we have just two corners very close one to each other. We just want to shoot the car into the corner. We just want to carry the speed.
Here in the first right-hander right now, the one that we discussed, just a bit too much on the brakes, and you're a bit earlier on power, but just because the straight is short, we don't gain it. See, so we'll force ourselves to brake. In your mind, you will brake here 1%. Okay, so whenever we'll go on track, I want you to understeer on the way out, just because you're carrying too much speed. So we will go to the other end of the spectrum. We will start crashing the car here and get to 1% braking. We crash the car, then we go again and we add 2% braking. You see, this is the way that we have to, in a way, hijack your mind so that you can carry a bit more speed. Definitely something to just have it on a radar. And you see, it ties very, very nicely with the downshift rhythm. It's a bit more obvious in T1. Let me show you. Here in T1, you can see that I'm downshifting both downshifts a bit earlier than you. And the crazy part is that I'm braking later than you and still downshifting earlier than you. You see?
Yeah.
So this is something that we
Oh,
have to
I
work
just
on.
processed what you said. I just processed it again. You are braking earlier than me, and you're still.
Yeah. See,
That's
so
not good. No bueno.
yeah, just a bit quicker on the downshifts. Imagine you want to annoy your best friend with the downshifts. Just bam bam.
Just like hit it. Yeah, I get you.
Exactly. Let's test the durability of those wheels, of the pedals.
For those low speed, we have just to focus on one thing: downshifting quicker. Add the engine braking in, because there's just how much you can brake. You can't go very hard on the brakes, because with this car specifically, this is very sensitive and it can lock up. You can spike the temps. You can mess up your front tires. So we can't brake more than that. Your initial peak is very good. But what's missing is the engine braking. Your downshifting, blink of an eye later. What you have to think about, and what I'm generally using for coaching, think about your left hand as a machine gun for downshifts. You just want to imagine that you're shooting it as quickly as you can, you see? So imagine that you have your best friend in the room and you want to annoy him as much as you can with the downshift. You basically have to spam, you have to do it like this, mindlessly, because the first two downshifts, I'm going to tell you, for all the low speed corner, the timing doesn't matter. Whenever you turn into the corner, like right now, the timing matters, because you will have a certain amount of steering angle plus the downshift. It can unbalance the car. So you have to think when you're gonna do that last downshift. But initially, no, we just have to downshift as quickly as the car allows you. And these cars, they all have downshift protection mechanism. So our goal will be to downshift as quickly as the downshift mechanism can allow it, you see? So there's no
engine braking.
Exactly.
Because if I don't use it, someone else will. Okay.
And can you do it? I mean, can you time it on purpose? It's impossible, because how can you do it? You just have to press it as quickly as you can. That's how you can make sure that you will do it at the first moment possible. Otherwise, you can't. So for low speed, you have, maybe this corner is a bit more difficult, I'll give you that, because you're turning and then immediately you're braking. You don't have all the time in the world, but still you have a bit of time. In the last corner of the lap, you will have a better example, because there you have a big straight up until that corner and you can prepare yourself mentally. Okay, what I have to do here, just quick downshift. See, it's the little things that you talk to yourself during before a corner, actually.
Can I ask a question, or
Sure.
I don't know if the answer is by feel, but if you could like press play just for like 1 second and then pause, but a little bit more. Yeah. If you were to point up at the brake telemetry, where should I be downshifting? Or is there no answer for that? Only when it's available?
Exactly. Well, only when it's available. At the first moment of it being available. Because otherwise, it's very hard to time the first downshifts. When we're talking about the last downshifts, maybe the last two downshifts, or the last one, then yes, you have to do it on purpose. You see, and you're doing it on purpose. The problem is that you're doing on purpose the first ones as well, you see. You just have to go a bit more raw, almost mindlessly. Yeah, almost mindlessly initially. Because initially you just want to be at the limit of braking. You want to be as efficient as possible with the braking. You're efficient with the braking, with the brake pedal. But with the downshifts, there's room for improvement.
You can see almost in the whole lap, like if we take a big chunk and we look in the bottom graph here, you see that your line, the red one, is always crossing, especially here you see
steering too much means understeer, or am I just
exactly
like tiny scrubbing? So this is understeer I'm making, but it's just very small.
Yes, but also it will be in the assist, you will be that you just steer a bit more than me, because you're over preparing the corner. You're just a bit under. For example, let's look here. You see, you're steering a bit more in this part.
Yeah.
Obviously, I will steer up just a bit more here, but look at the line difference. You see, and now I want to point out one thing that I think is
when it's like that, you can see I'm really taking the quote unquote long way around.
Yeah.
I see it, yeah.
Yes, our lines are really different. You're preparing too much those corners. You see, you're
I'm
taking.
just killing time. I am. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's more like a GT line. What you're driving, it's not exactly GT. You won't. It's a hybrid line. I think you can. You're just a bit too safe. Maybe a bit too safe, but it's like few percentages. But this will make a big difference. So what I want you to think about. This is gonna be a good stuff to just have it in your mind. If between two corners, so we have these two, this one and the next one around here. If between those two corners you're almost going straight, and you can see here that you're almost going straight here.
Yeah.
It means you're not hustling the car or relaxing between corners, to be more precise. Here, you should never keep your steering wheel straight between corners. It means that you're under the limit here.
Positioning the car all the way to the center right to have this angle on here. And let me show you something. Let me show you my line.
Okay.
So I'm cutting it like this. I'm doing a smaller lift, but the main difference will be here. Look here, the approach. Small brake at this point and pushing the car all the way towards the left. See how different this line is?
Yeah, it feels very wrong.
Yeah, doesn't it? So it feels like I'm not gonna gain in the next corner. I'm gonna lose everything. But the fact is that here you can just push the car again through this line here, and it's gonna be a lot quicker. You're trying to over prepare a corner that doesn't need that much preparation. So see, here you're arriving.
I'm paranoid about being on the left here. Like for me, like everything before doesn't matter as long as I'm on the left back there.
Yeah.
You know, because I struggle on this corner big time.
Yeah. So the main idea here is that those are some S's in which you don't have a big straight. It's turn, 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 you see? So you don't really need to over prepare these corners just because the exit won't matter that much. We just need to carry the speed. So instead of going this far, just a sec, let's roll back to here. Instead of over preparing like this, I want you to try, whenever we'll go on track, to put the car more towards the left and try to still get around. We'll gain a lot more, and we'll see in the telemetry how much more we can gain. Same for this one. So this is way too safe right now. It's not at the limit of the car, because this line is, maybe with the GT car, it's gonna work a lot better. But with Formula cars, where we have a lot more downforce, we can actually shorten the distance. We're traveling a longer distance. We can get it away with just a bit less, you see? There are some small details here with the throttle, but we'll go over in the telemetry. It's gonna be a lot easier to spot them. But one thing that I want to mention here is this gap in the inputs around here. So let's see. You're taking this one, doing a small lift. Now for this one, dropping it to 0, you see?
Yeah.
Coasting and then put it back on. If you can add here just a bit of brakes, it's gonna give you a lot more rotation.
No coasting, like just like the car has to be doing something, or if it's doing nothing, minimize that nothingness.
Exactly.
Is that what you mean?
Exactly. Doing something with the car at all times. Now,
so are you saying that if I was to get on the brakes in that gap, I could have gotten to the throttle sooner because I would be pointing the way I wanted sooner?
Your braking looks very good, but what's missing sometimes, you're just not connecting your inputs. So whenever you're doing a lift, think about this. I want to fill that lift with a bit of brake, even 1% brake. If the car will be too slow, because I will add 1% brake, I will brake later. I will stay more on throttle, you see?
Yes.
That's going to be the idea, because you will gain a bit on that entry before putting the brake. So
that's a very good concept, because I've often thought there's corners where it's like in the S's as well, where it's like I'm sure I could do it. I feel like I should be doing something, and my gut is telling me just a little dab of the brakes, just a little dab. And then I know if I look at my competitors, or I'm driving a GT3 car, I see their brake lights flash. You know, I see people are braking. But sometimes I do it and sometimes I don't. As you can see there, your tiny braking, it's a very natural thing. You're like, oh, I'm doing nothing. I'm going to ask for a bit more rotation. I'm going to give it a little bit more brakes. But I don't really do it that naturally, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think the starting point will be to catch yourself in the offside whenever you have a lift without a brake. Just point it out to you. when you're driving. Okay, I just did a lift and nothing else. I just waited. Why? Maybe if I pushed the brake, the car was too slow. So this means, okay, then I have to do it a bit later. I have to carry more speed, because most of the times the root cause of this will be you being too slow on entry. So the reason why people are not adding this little bit of brake is because they are under the limit initially. So if they will brake, then the car will be too slow, and they feel this. So they just do a small lift, you see. But this just means that we're just a bit under the limit before doing that, you see. Everything has a cause and effect.
Yep.
So this will be the result. You will steer a bit more because you're not adding this small brake.
And here, let's see. It's this part around here with the throttle. Whenever you're trying to keep the speed up and still limping the throttle, you see, you don't want to let go. You want to keep it on, right? In a way, it makes sense. But the thing is, it's a lot more rewarding to think of your throttle input in terms of 100 and zeros. Because whenever you will stay more on 100, obviously you're gonna gain, and whenever you will drop it, that sudden drop from 100 to 0 is gonna give you that sweet grip on the fronts. See, because you're trying to get the grip with the throttle release. You're basically trailing the throttle. The same way that with trail brake, you're doing with the throttle here to get the grip back. But whenever you're doing it, let's say, not 100%, something like 50%, like you're not getting the most out of it, and you're not also getting the most out of it in this phase.
This is something that you have to test it to see it in action. But what you're doing in the middle section, I assume you're trying to carry the minimum speed as much as you can. You see here, let's take this part.
Yeah.
I approach it with 2 blocks where I just go 100% throttle, almost 0, then 100% throttle again, and almost 0. And notice here, you see this gap here that I have in my inputs around here?
Yeah.
See, not ideal. Definitely not. Or maybe I don't have it because the brake shape is down.
Brakes, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But never mind. The main thing that I want to point out here is that you trying to carry this throttle like this.
It's too freestyle. I'll never be able to replicate that lap on lap.
Yeah,
I'll never know.
That's a good point.
It is. It's too freestyle. It's too by feel. It's like art, where what you're doing is mathematics.
Yeah, that's a good point with being able to replicate. That's a very good point. Another thing about it is that, if you will see enough data, it will always strike you whenever you see a driver doing this, because you will rarely see it in very quick lap times. Generally, what you're seeing is this, and this is something that I just learned mostly by going over a lot of data whenever I was trying to break some plateaus as well. Whenever you're doing 100% to almost 0 and then 100% again, what you're also doing, you're just shifting a lot more weight to the front tires to make them able to point again. So I want you to think about your throttle in the same way that you're doing it with the brakes. It's the same thing. You're still shifting the weight. You're still changing the car balance. You're still in a way trailing, but with the throttle. And the more aggressive the trailing, the more grip you will have. So for all these formula cars, if you make yourself a habit of going 100, 0 almost, and then quickly back to 100, you will carry a lot more speed. And you see this in the speed trace, because of course I'm gonna lose in this portion to you, but look how much I gain in the next one. You see?
Because you're facing the right way.
Yeah, because this lift allowed me to get the rotation. This lift, and here this big lift, probably coupled with a small tap on the brakes, allowed me to go on the rotation. So this will be a big change in the driving, because I want you here in the S's to try to do this 100 and 0 and see how it works. You see, I think you will find a lot.
Here, one big difference you will see in the downshift. So I'm in 6th. Look at the downshift. 5th, 4th, 3, 6th, 5th, 4th. It's very small. I think we will see.
No, I can see it. There's a long time. I'm taking a long time to do it, where you are just
Yeah, and this will make the rear unstable. We want to make the rear unstable on purpose. so the car can rotate more into this phase.
So I'm being too stable.
Yeah, just a bit too stable and just a bit too much on the brakes. We will see it whenever we will check better the values, but let's quickly just watch the peak, initial peak pressure. 40. Okay, now let's get back to my lap. And let's see. 33. You see, 7%. But this makes a difference. That's the crazy.
That's a lot more speed you're carrying in. So what's your KPH? I don't have my speed on my thing, but yeah.
Yeah, so at your level right now, this like 7% less on the brakes will make a huge difference. A huge difference, because whenever you're already driving good and you have to squeeze something, those small details is where you can squeeze. And let's see. I'm downshifting to third before turning into the corner here. The thing is, the main difference is that you have a bit of understeer on the exit. So very good that you push the car to this curb, very good that you're having this 100% spike on throttle and drop to 0. Exactly what we talked about the throttle, you're doing a good job in this part. But now you're a bit too early on throttle and you will lose rotation and you will understeer because you lose rotation way too early. You try to correct it, but it's very difficult to do it. You see you understeer here on the exit and we have this pattern of throttle, but it's okay. Third gear is gonna help you here.
This is me recovering from the last corner.
You see, a bit too aggressive with the steering here.
Really?
Yeah, so this is a subtle thing.
Take that corner.
Look, you don't let the car goes where the car wants to go. The car wants to track out a bit wider, but you don't let it. You see,
really?
Right now you're in the center and you're already pointing left. Let me show you.
And how much time is this though? Is this like a lot or
0:02 maybe? 0:02. Okay. But it's free lap time. So
I understand.
Look.
Yeah, you're letting the car do what it wants. You're not
and now I'm bringing.
We're happy.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
Doing it lap after lap. This. And let's look at the braking.
There's a lot going on in this corner.
Not bad. What I would change, like a very obvious thing, this curb. Like this curb is a cheat in the final lap.
Really?
Yeah, you really have to go over it. You will carry more speed because right now you see you're not arriving at the curb.
Oh yeah, I'm 2 meters away.
Yeah, so this means you're carrying a bit less speed because obviously if you had more speed you will get pushed towards the curb.
Dude, do you mean the green curb? Can you get up on that?
Yeah, let me show. You see, it's a big cheat here.
I didn't notice. What the hell? And it's smoother. It's actually much smoother than doing it. Look at that.
It balanced the car because right now you're shifting weight left to right, and whenever you're getting into this curb, it will balance the car better.
The dip? What about the dip that just here? You sure you don't know because you don't hit it because you drive on the lovely smooth curb?
Yeah. This is very good.
Wow.
For some cars you can't use it like this, so you have to test it. But yes. I remember whenever I was racing on this track against people that were not using the curb, like I was gaining all the time, tenths, 2-3 tenths.
That's the most important corner to get the move done.
Yeah, exactly. So just a small change in line.
Here, quick downshifts. Look how soon the car stops.
Oh my god.
Very good.
Let's get that entry speed.
Yeah, let's push.
I'm gonna keep it chill. I'm not gonna overdo it, but I'll try to put it all together. Bit messy, but
Yeah, that off track you don't gain anything by going there.
no, I just had to commit.
Yeah. I'm curious to see the lap time compared to previous two. Let's see. Quick downshifts here again.
Ah. Still faster than my best. I can feel it.
150.9. So
Yeah, I knew it.
you gained 6 tenths.
That's with a huge mistake. That's with a pretty significant mistake at the end.
Yeah.
And I was being very cautious too.
Exactly. So the lap that we analyzed in the beginning of the session, the one that you did a few days ago, was a 151.4, and this is half a second quicker in your, average attempt, I would say now.
No, but that's my first attempt, huh?
Your first attempt.
That's pretty. If you gave me if I just took half an hour to practice, knowing what I know and learning, because braking later and downshifting super fast, the car gets a lot twitchier. But like I could touch 50.7, 50.8. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe 50.8, but to be able to replicate that too, that felt very fast for me.
If you stayed all the way to the end, I have a gift for you. A 20% discount code to the GitGud Racing course. I hope you enjoyed this type of content, I hope you liked it, and looking forward to see you in the next video.